rated ships in the game currently, the Valkyrie. Thank you to my long-term subscribers for putting up with me. Please consider subscribing if you have not already. Now, what I want to go through is the value of the Valkyrie, especially since it just got its hit points doubled, and where I suspect the Anvil Asgard falls into this, which is currently on the drawing board, heavily implied that it'll be a variant of this ship. So the first thing that we're looking at is these two side cannons that are remote. When this ship first came out, this was actually a little bit novel to have this kind of frame, this field of view on these side cannons, although they're very small, but they're still ship guns, don't forget. Now, yes, ship guns are a little wonky when it comes to hitting players and such, knocking them down more than actually doing damage to them. But over time, that is going to change, and I do want to highlight things that probably won't change. So we have 5 beds in this area. We have a full hygiene area, as well as a small crew feeding area. Now, one of the things that always confuses people is when they see the number of seats and the number of capacity of this ship from the bottom floor, they forget that the actual crew is a maximum of 5, and really I could not imagine 5 players being here. NPCs, sure, but anyway, here's the top turret. This is far more valuable than the side turrets when it comes to dealing with other ships. You can see this dual cannon on the top running around, and it has been suggested that this thing should probably be sized up slightly, but this is what you're working with. You have this dual turret, fully auto. The sloped walls of the ship do help a little bit, but then you have that edge geometry of the wings and the nacelles and stuff as you try to point any downwards more than a few degrees. Unfortunately, you're going to have some issues. So, where does this leave this crew? Well, this is their little domain. You can see that there is not many doors up here. There's not even a covering of the hatch ladder that's right behind where I'm standing. And only the pilot, who only has the 1 seat up here, really is covered from if the ship is exposed to space. Now, this ship could get air shields in the future, but in the lore, the air shields are supposed to be rather expensive, and they're usually set for a reason. I.e., the Idris has a pair of air shields on both, one on each end of its hangar bay, so its hangar crew can work without having to be exposed to space constantly. If this ladder had a hatch, and then also a pair of plexiglass was put in on this side and on the other side, you'll see in a minute though, the transparent aluminum type stuff, as the game lore suggests, so it's like clear armor essentially, it'd be thin, it would be far better up here, because the minute you open that massive ramp or either of the hatches down below, this is all ventilated to space. And this is where it gets a little interesting. So some of the comments in the past, because this ship has a long history, have suggested that CIG intentionally made it this way, that this is supposed to be the planet-side dropship, not a space-based dropship, and it's geared towards such. This area, for example, from the beginning was envisioned to be a vehicle area with 2 walkways on either side where you can run or walk past the vehicle and proceed out of the ship. You can see the 20 drop seats. We're going to get to those in a moment. 5, 5, 5, and 5. 10 in each room, technically, but rows of 5, up to 20. And then you can see these 2 hatches on the side, and you can see that beautiful remote turret that we were just operating upstairs. That covers the whole side of the ship, although it cannot turn and point back to the ship, unfortunately, which is a bit of an oversight to me. If somebody was applying a breaching charge and attempting to enter, if they had a way to get in, it would probably be best to have that weapon be able to just spray the whole side of the ship down and clear out those enemies. You can see some of the interesting design work and the hydraulics. One of the things you won't note is that there is no door guns like you'd see on the Cuddy Steel. That's replaced by those remote turrets that are outside, at least currently. And then this button that I forgot operates the ramp that is right behind where we're standing right now. We'll get to that in a moment. This small piece of metal, a lot like the Carrack's design, allows you to have protection from a ground vehicle coming in a little hot and then rolling up, where it won't run over players trying to go up the ladder or going into those rooms and such. It also adds an impromptu defensive barrier. So if you open that ramp, you can't get to the ramp, or the crew upstairs is too busy, preoccupied, you can defend from this position. So 1 or 2 players could be behind this ramp and use this as an impromptu barricade to be able to act as a defensive perimeter and act as a line of defense. You'll see that there is these 4 lockers with 750k micro each, which is not really enough. It's kind of sort of, every storage is good and splitting storage is nice, but I mean, really what you're talking about here is these 20 seats, each with their own 2-hand weapon storage. So in the future, you won't be able to sit down with a 2-hand weapon on your back, at least if CIG sticks to what they've been saying for a long time about it. Eventually they will change their ways. So being able to put the weapon into the rack just next to your seat and then have that drop seat where you secure in, which is one of the best seats to handle G-forces, is going to be extremely useful, especially if you're rocking armor. You will notice there's no suit lockers on this ship, which would be a problem if in the future medium or heavy armors would not be allowed in the seat. However, even if that ever happens, it has been said that those type of special seats that are the jump seats will handle the heavier armors no problem. I can't speak for the suits or anything like that. Like ATLSs, I won't do that, but yeah. You can see that lower turret that we just got out of that Matt, it's like a doppelganger. The one on the top of the ship, on the bottom, it is kind of a terrible turret unless it's an enemy ship attacking, because once you're on the ground, it doesn't really protect the back ramp, it doesn't protect the sides too well. It does okay. You can note that these have these 2-hand areas next to each one of the seats. And again, those will become much more valuable over time. This ship has a niche, not a problem, but a hyper niche to it, where it's meant to be able to deploy up to 20 attackers or defenders to an area, and then a vehicle alongside, or maybe 2 vehicles if you want to try to squeeze them in there. One of the things that the community pushed hard for, and CIG fought tooth and nail to try to avoid, was the idea that the cargo area for the vehicle would be able to actually run SCUs of cargo, so this thing can run a small amount of cargo in the middle. CIG valiantly attempted to fight against that. They thought it was against the ethos of the ship, or it was going to break the game or something if the Valkyrie could run a small amount of cargo in the middle of that. It's an armored area. This ship will benefit greatly from the armor. It's a sign of the doubling of its hit points, and it's a completely different play style, I think, than a lot of other ships. People point out that this has close to the same kind of hit points as the Prowler, which is a stealthier ship, which enjoys the currently in-game early stealth technology. But I point out that this ship is heavier armor, it has a lot more weapons, and while the weapons should be upsized 1 gun, a size for each and every part of it, or at least the 2 turrets, the one on the bottom and the top, without breaking the game, I believe, the ship has its benefits, particularly because it's bulk. It can move 20 plus players and a vehicle all at the same time. Like, think of a Cyclone or something like that. Being able to field 20 guys plus a Cyclone AA or a Cyclone TR or a Cyclone MT is pretty useful. And it brings up an interesting point. What happens when you need more than a Cyclone? What happens when your enemies have Novas and Storms and all these crazy things and Ballista? Well, that's where the Anvil Asgard gets into it. And if you jumped ahead to this chapter, welcome from the future, or the past, I guess. But anyway, what the Asgard is currently thought to be is a ship that will enjoy the hit point doubling of the Valkyrie into its variant, and it will also gut out this bottom of the ship. So it'll maintain likely some sort of ramp, and likely a vehicle storage in the back here, maybe even make it larger in some way or another to try to fit a Nova in there, or at least a Storm. And then this is where speculation goes to hyper speculation. Right where those seats are, in the middle, on both sides, I believe they will be made larger if necessary to each fit a single large vehicle from the Atlas chassis platform. So CIG has long held that if a company makes a new ship, they design the rest of the ship and advertise that ship in lore in the game from the ship manufacturer with the other products from that ship, from that company that could possibly make together. The idea is that they want to try to sell more than what they have. So the Kraken is sold with that has Buccaneer hangars, and Buccaneers are symbiotic with the ship. The BMM is supposed to have a special relationship with the Defender. Well, that's changed over time. We'll get to that later. But what matters with this is that this would make perfect sense to be able to fit a pair of Ballista. Might be a little overkill, but I think Ballista would certainly be possible. But Centurions, I certainly feel strongly about. I feel that the variant of this ship will carry a pair of Centurions where those 20 seats are. And in the back, you can at least fit a Storm or a Storm AA of your choice, one or the other. They'll have to open this up more if necessary, especially the ramp behind me. But I feel like that would be pretty dang useful. And don't forget, when you're talking about vehicles, that means that we now have to think of the vehicle crew if they don't want to sit within the vehicle, or it's not practical for them to sit in the vehicle during transit. So what I'm thinking is there would be jump seats where those storage lockers are currently, those 6 storage lockers. I think that they'll be changed over to jump seats. At least 3. But they might change them to the more basic jump seats, and then maybe you could squeeze in 4 on each side, something like that, to try to act as crew areas, and then figure out some more jump seats on the sides of this area that I'm currently standing, and create basically one walking pathway to the back behind the vehicle that's stored in the middle. I think if you took away, right now it has 2 pathways to allow those 20 soldiers to descend without even the vehicle getting out of the way, and an exit through the ramp. I believe that if you limit it to 1 of those, you wouldn't have as many problems. So I'm sorry that it's hyper speculation and a lot of this about the Asgard, and I wanted to comment on the Valkyrie, give it another chance, hence the music at the beginning, and there's gonna be a funny ending too if you stick with this video about another ship. But I think that it is certainly applicable, and I do recommend thinking about it, not picking it up now. Wait for the big sale. Invictus launch week is less than a month away now. And I think it's going to be very exciting times for both of them. By the way, right here, what you just watched is my graphics currently. I saw a bunch of comments about my graphics. This is what I'm currently running. You can see that I'm on DirectX 3D 11, which is DirectX 11. And then DLSS Quality 66 on a 4070 Ti 7800X3D CPU, 64 gigs of RAM, and of course an SSD. I guess I'll say, but on very high quality graphics. Currently, the DLSS is doing extremely well in 4.1.1. Anyway, I hope that helps you out. And by the way, 4.1.1 is in Wave 2 already. Very exciting times. I think we're going to see much more success in the next week or 2 as the waves keep going, and I hope to see everybody in the PTU. So get on in there and check it out. To those who celebrate Easter, I wish you and your family a great holiday. And to those who celebrate Passover, I hope you and your family are having a great holiday. So the other thing I wanted to mention is that the PTU, as I said, is in Wave 2 already. There's no rush. It's going to be up all weekend in Wave 2, maybe even add other waves. It's unlikely, but it is possible. And I think by next week it'll probably, if things go well, start hitting the later waves. And hopefully eventually we have an open PTU, which is the sign that it's ready to go. This early before a large event is very, very promising. And that's about where I'm at. And if you don't celebrate any holidays, or if you do, I wish you a great weekend regardless. Take care.
what's on your mind. And I know it gets tough sometimes. But you can give it one more try. Find a reason why you should pick it up. Ooh, try it again. 'Cause it's alright. I think we're gonna make it. I think it might just work out this time. It's alright. I think we're gonna make it. I think it might work out fine this time. It's alright. I think we're gonna make it. I think it might just work out. 'Cause it's not too late for that, too late for me. And I know I've been hurt before. And I know I really shouldn't give anymore. But this time things seem just a little different. And when I look in your eyes, you know I can see that it's true. And I hear you say it's alright. I think we're gonna make it. I think it might just work out this time. It's alright. I think we're gonna make it. I think it might work out fine this time. It's alright. I think we're gonna make it. I think it might just work out. 'Cause it's not too late for that, too late for love. Just when you feel helpless, nothing left to say, love will find us, the past behind us, then we're on our way. Time and time again I see people so unsure like me. We all know it gets hard sometimes. But you can give it one more try. Find another reason why you should pick it up. Ooh, why you should kick it up. Ooh, try it again. 'Cause it's alright. I think we're gonna make it. I think it might just work out this time. It's alright. I think we're gonna make it. I think it might work out fine this time. It's alright. I think we're gonna make it. I think it might just work out. 'Cause it's alright. I think we're gonna make it. I think it might work out fine this time.